Hey you guys, so here we are at my guitar, and I wanted to do a bit of a series for you guys. I've been asked over the years how I get such good tone out of a cheap guitar. Notice I've got a real good Gibson hardcase here. I don't mean to disappoint anybody, but this is not a Gibson guitar. I wish it was. This is a Cort Earth Model OP, if I can show you. Yeah, this is not the best here, unfortunately. There you go. Sort of starting to... Yeah, that's crap. There you go. Grand OP. Okay, you got the nice red rosette. You got the nice rosette here. Now, what I will tell you is that most guitars that are what we call a rock and roll style dreadnought, they don't put a lot of effort into the frets here. In fact, sometimes you will see that they are different heights and not all seated perfectly. You can see that here. In fact, this one is a little higher than the others. And that's pretty typical. For an acoustic, they put a lot of effort in from here up to make those frets nice. But a lot of times they don't expect you to play down here. This is not an electric guitar. So when you get an acoustic that doesn't play that well down here, don't be surprised or shocked. It's not a Martin. It's not a Gibson. It's not a high-end guitar. It's a cheaply made guitar, you might think. But not necessarily. This is not a super cheap guitar, but it's not really expensive either. This is definitely what I would call an entry-level guitar. So I want to discuss with you a couple of things. Now, when I got this guitar, it had two problems. One was right here. The other one was right here because there was a bow here, okay? And that's very common. You look down the neck and you see the guitar is shaped like this. Well, that's a bad thing. Now, most people, when they get into a circumstance like that, reach for their truss rod. And I'm going to talk to you for a minute about why that's actually a bad thing. For one, you have a combination of things that go on here. One, you have a truss rod. The truss rod will be a quarter length, meaning it comes to about here. Half length, which means it comes halfway up the neck, or 3/4 length. If you have a 3/4 length truss rod, it ends right about here. Okay? If you have a full length truss rod, you will have an adjustment here, either on the front of the guitar or on the back of it. And you can see that's not the case here because this guitar does not have a full length truss rod. Okay? So what I did was I got a really good hard case that has a good headstock brace so that butts up against the headstock and locks the neck in nice and tight. This is a good Gibson case, and it's good for a reason. So when I took the tension off the neck, meaning I took all the strings off, set it into the case, locked down the case, and left it for 3 days. That straightened out the bow here and got the neck straight. Once I did that, I looked at the action and decided I liked my action. It didn't need to be changed. So a truss rod adjustment was not actually the answer to straightening out this guitar. If you're going to buy a cheap guitar, especially a used one, the neck is going to be less stable than it would be on a high-end guitar, generally speaking. And so you are going to need to know this kind of stuff. And if you want great tone out of an inexpensive guitar, invest in a good hard case, guys. That's one thing. The next thing, string selection. I like the Darios. Pegs, I've done a video on already. I almost never leave the pegs on. I always take off a pick guard if there are a pick guard on it. This one didn't come with one. But it's because you put your finger on the wood when you strum a note or pluck a note or pick a note, and you will feel that it is vibrating. You will get better resonance, a longer sustain, and better overall tone without that pick guard because it's a thick piece of plastic that's resisting the vibration of the top. And as you might know, that vibration is everything. That vibration is what you're hearing. So in the next video, I will show you guys a little bit about my pegs and how I got those and why I picked those. In the next video after that, I will show you about the woods on the guitar, why I picked those, what I look for to get my tone. And we're going to go from there. So this video is just about how to take care of your neck, guys. The best thing you can do is to check it regularly and keep it in a hard case. If you find it starting to bow, take the tension off the neck, lock it in the hard case, and it'll straighten itself out. On a cheaper guitar, you might have to do that fairly regularly, but over time, it staying in the hard case will keep it straight, and you shouldn't have to do that more than once. So that's the basics, and that will help you guys a lot. There are tons of videos on how to adjust your truss rod and when to adjust that. I'm not going to cover that as a result. Keith out.